Hello, everyone. So, moving from where Gary started on the energy prices. So why are these energy prices so high? Why are they rising? Why are these taxes? So it's all because of climate change, which is happening. So I thought of doing a bit more of a fun session here, of a small quiz. So I want your interaction. I won't raise hands in the questions, so I'll say who is up for 1, 2, or 3. So I'll see what you believe. So according to the Climate Change Act, the UK committed to reduce carbon emissions by, who believes it's 1, 80% by 2050 based on 1990 levels? I have a couple of people. Thank you. So who thinks it's 2, 70% by 2050 based on 1990 levels? A bit less. 80% by 2100. Okay. And 70% by 2100. No. So I think 1 was a winner. And it is a winner. It's 80% by 2050 based on 1990 levels. And what we had achieved by 2015? Had we achieved 29% based on 1990 levels? No? Okay. 38%? Okay. 45? And 53? Okay, well, it's 38% based on the 1990 levels, which was for our total emissions moved from 800 megatons of CO2 equivalent to 497. So, the 2014 annual average temperature was warmer than the long-term average by 0.3 Celsius, okay, 0.5, 1, 2. So 1 was a majority, and it's 1 Celsius higher. So from all the sectors in the economy, which sector achieved the highest reduction in carbon emissions? Was it the energy sector? Was it the industrial processes? No. Business sector? Transport? Residential? And the public sector. So I believe lots of people thought it was transport. You'll be surprised to know that transport was only 1% reduction, and the highest one was the energy sector. And that's due to the reduction in energy supply emissions was driven by change in the fuel mix for electricity generation in 2015, with less use of coal and more use of renewables and nuclear. So as you see, the energy sector is kind of trying to reduce their own emissions, but then it's a matter of how we reduce our own emissions too. So the next question, you can raise your hand more than once if you feel like it. So why does it matter to your business? Why should you care about all this? So 1, the UK companies pay £2.8 billion for energy that they don't need to use. That's equivalent to 5 power stations. Who thinks that's true? Okay. Energy prices have risen in the last decade in the UK by 137%. 83% of businesses are missing their growth targets due to utility bills price hikes. 40% in energy reduction by 2030 through energy efficiency measures would boost the country's GDP by 62 billion and create 40,000 jobs. And because the catastrophic effects of climate change affect your own business. You'll be surprised to know they're all correct. All these are the reasons why you should care. And moving to the next question, I'll tell you from now it's all correct. So how do climate change effects affect your business? We'll start with the heat waves. So the heat wave of 2003, which peaked at 38.5 Celsius in the UK, will be a normal summer by 2040. And how this will affect you? Well, first of all, you want to go to the beach a bit more, and you don't want to work. but it will also affect the transport of people, which is your customer, your employees, yourself, and the transport of goods that will lead to disruptions in your supply chain. You will need to use more energy for cooling because you can't really work, you can't be in an office at 38.5 Celsius. And these are just a few reasons why you should care. The next thing is the floods and coastal erosions. So you'll be happy to know that the southeast is not really projected to have lots of floods, but there will be floods anywhere else in the UK and the world. And in the UK, it already causes £1 billion of damage every year, but the risk will rise as further climate change happens. And with more intense rainfall, it will bring floods to places that they were not in danger before. And the number of buildings at risk will double by 2050 if the global temperature rises by 4 Celsius. And that's, again, you should care, because the floods will disrupt your customers, your goods coming from all over the world. Something that this area is more in danger is the water shortages. So severe weather shortages are expected as summers get drier, and by 2050 will extend across the UK. If temperatures are driven up significantly, many places in the UK will have a demand for water 2.5 times greater than they do have now. And as you see here, Thames is exceptionally low reserves of water, ground levels. So moving on, the next one is the natural environment. So the proportion of prime farmland is expected to fall from 38% to 9% with significant warming. And the crop growing in eastern England, where we are, and Scotland, could be ended by degraded soil and water shortages. And warming seas are pushing key species northwards, which may affect the entire marine food chain. And that affects the whole economy, so at the end it will affect your business. And something that you might care, it's the food. So climate change is likely to drive food prices up, with extreme weather leading to lost crops and price shocks. And around 40% of the food in the UK is imported. So anything that happens all around the world will impact the UK, so the floods anywhere else will impact you at the end. So to finalize that, you should care. You should try to reduce your energy consumption, both because you're saving money, but also because you contribute to the economy of the country, and also reduce the impacts of climate change to your own business. So, thank you.